Hi there, South Plains. Amanda McAfee with Lubbock Area United Way. Today I am visiting with Lena Scaff. She is the Executive Director for Early Learning Centers of Lubbock. They have several low-cost, high-quality childcare facilities throughout town where they have been taking care of kiddos through this entire crisis, taking care of essential services families, but now daycare's reopened to everybody and anybody who needs it, because we're all headed back to work and we're all figuring out what work in the new world looks like and childcare that looks like in this new world. So Lena, how are you? How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're just glad everybody else is back to work. We were missing everyone.
I imagine your classrooms looked a little bit different over the last many weeks.
Yes, they have. We at our lowest attendance, we had about 49% of the kids coming, and that was when it was essential workers only.
Wow.
And no phone calls. Nobody was calling. No phones were ringing. Several times we checked to make sure they were working because it was creepy they weren't ringing.
Yeah, you didn't have any calls because all of us were trying to figure out how to be daycare for our own kids.
Right. I know. And I'm so glad my kids are all grown, because we were helping school agers with their schoolwork. Yikes. We had 8 kids in there, and they're all in different grades from different schools. And we're like, we're supposed to do what? But by golly, we had homework done every day before they left the centers, because we weren't going to put that on the parents, because we could see how challenging that was.
Yeah, no doubt. It was a challenge. I think we're all happy that the last week of school has come and gone, and we're hopefully going to go back to a normal school year in the fall. So, Lena, that's a little bit of how what childcare looked like at early learning centers had changed and shifted. Tell us a little bit more how your programs have shifted, how what you guys are doing on a daily basis has changed.
Okay. Well, because the centers are open to all children now, we've started enrolling, but we still have brought some of the guidelines from the lockdown over with us, and especially parents going back to childcare who haven't been there since March when this all started, or just starting childcare for the first time. It's kind of strange now, because instead of going into the building as a parent and taking your child and signing them in, you're going to be stopped at the front door. We stop everybody on the porch and we check everybody's temperature. The parents can come in if it's the same parent and they go through the same screening the children do. Most of the parents are opting to just stay at the front door and get their kiddos checked in. We take their temperature. We ask all the questions. Have you had a cough? All of that. And once we get all that cleared, then we do their health check while the parents are signing them in. And then we have a staff person who takes them down to the classroom. We're also doing all those screenings on all of our staff. If I go to a center for something, I have to go through the same procedures. Grocery deliveries are being left outside, and we're bringing them in ourselves. We have nobody from outside coming into the buildings, just to be sure. And we did not have any positive coronaviruses during the lockdown. So we're doing something good. The way we're doing it. We're asking parents, if your child seems sick, keep them home. With allergies around here, that makes it kind of difficult. And we all may be pretty darn sure that it's allergies, but it's not something we can risk right now. So parents have been great about saying, okay, I'll take them home. If they've had a fever, they have to stay out for 3 days. Our policy had always been 24 hours fever free, but now it's 72 hours. We don't want to be the cause of a second wave. So we're going to stick with those policies, and we're going to make sure that everybody who comes in is as healthy as can be. We're cleaning like crazy. Being in daycare, we already did that. So we just ramped it up a little bit. We didn't have a lot of children, so we could have a lot more cleaning. We're just going to continue all of that so that we can make sure to keep our kiddos as healthy as possible.
Well, I think some of that, when we hear that seems a little excessive for some of us, thinking, oh my gosh, is that really all necessary? Especially when we have fewer cases in Lubbock than in other places. But kids are little petri dishes. I mean, any of us who have had, anybody who's a parent or a caregiver and has had a kid knows how easy they catch stuff when they go to school, when they go to daycare, and how it comes home and gets everybody in the family. And that's really a lot about where school wasn't in session, where childcare facilities were just essential services, families only. That's what it's been a lot about, is trying to keep those little petri dishes a little bit farther away from each other so that we all stay healthy. So Lena, my son Jack, sweet 3-year-old Jack, and when he started staying at home with us, we've had quite the transition, because he was used to going to daycare every day and having that structure and teachers and his friends that he played with and having all of that structure. I was talking with my husband, because I'm still mostly at home, kind of at home at work. And I was talking to my husband, I think we've gotten to every third day. Every third day is just a rough day. We'll have 2 pretty good days, and then every third day. And I still think that's him still adjusting after all of this time to what's been going on. So talk a little bit about these little guys, because they can't say, "Mommy, I miss my friends,"
right,
or whatever it is that they're experiencing. They can't communicate that the way older kids can. So talk about some of the things that you guys have seen in the kids and how this is affecting those little ones that many of us don't necessarily realize it's affecting them, but it is.
right. That's exactly right. And with the little guys, they thrive on predictability. At our centers, we do the same thing at the same time every day. It may be a different art project, but it's still art, and it's still done right after we come in from outside. And children thrive on that. And that's what helps them feel safe and secure. And so if something goes a little bit off the rails, it doesn't totally derail them, because they understand, oh, okay, we're right back to our routine. But when this all hit, all these children were taken out of their child care centers and they're at home, which I can say, when my kids were at home, we didn't have a really great routine. Get through the day was what our goal was. And I mean, at the center, we're very structured on what we're doing. And so, and then in addition to that, the children are listening to us as parents, and they're hearing us talking with our spouses or on the phone about this virus, and people are dying, and we're talking about, you've got to wash your hands. And the children are literal, and they're looking and they're like, there's nothing wrong with my hands. Why is everybody acting this way? And the more anxious and stressed out the adults get, that comes down on the kids. And so they have all this stuff going on. They don't have the language to say, hey, hold on, this is not making sense to me, we need to talk about it. And so they act out. They throw temper tantrums. They tell you no, things like that. And one thing that could really help, and I wish that I had thought to tell some of our parents this in the beginning, get a big piece of paper and write the daily schedule on it and tell them, okay, we're right here, and help refer them back to that. It doesn't matter if they can't read. You're referring back to something that's going to stay up the whole time, and it starts to bring them some peace of mind. Where are we, Mommy? We're right here on our day. See, here's bedtime down here. We've got these things to do first. And it just helps give them that sense of security again. The same thing is fixing to happen with all these children going back to childcare. They're going to go through that whole trauma, so to speak, again, of if they haven't been coming, they have to go through this check to get into the building. So that's different in the place that should always be the same. And now my home routine has been thrown out the window, and now I'm back in childcare routine. So we're anticipating lots of temper tantrums when children are being dropped off, lots of crying and hanging on for dear life, because it's another change, and it's a very short time for children. They're just starting to get some comfort in the predictability of what's going on. And now we're going to say, all right, let's all go back now.
I absolutely see that. I see that in my son. I know that he's just now, I wish I'd had that advice about putting the schedule up on the wall 2 months ago, though, Lena. Where were you? I needed you. So let's talk about that a little bit, though, because like you said, we're about to go through another period where this is, it's traumatic for these kids. It's upending everything that they've just sort of started getting used to, and they're probably not completely used to yet. So how can parents and caregivers help kiddos adjust to going back to daycare or to daycare for the first time?
I think I would start off by making a a little sign. Maybe you could even put little pictures with it to help them. It depends on how much your child needs, but start off with a week schedule. Okay, on these days we're going to school. On these days we're staying home, and on the days we're going to school, put something on there that lets them know it's a school day. And then on the weekends, try and do somewhat of the routine you've been doing all these weeks so that they have that continuity going into the weekends. And when you're getting ready to put them to bed and school is the next day, remind them, okay, tomorrow we're going to go to school. So we're going to get up and we're going to have breakfast, all of that. And then when they get up, you start talking about it again. So there's no surprises. There's nothing worse than being woken up and said, all right, we're going to school. And they're like, wait, what? And they just need that little bit of time to digest it and let them know. And then when they get to the center, give them a big hug and a big kiss if you live in the same house. And tell them, I love you and I will be back after at your outside time, after snack. Try and find out, if you're planning to pick your child up at 5, ask the center, what are y'all doing at 5 in the classroom, so that you can tell a child, I'll be back when you guys are washing your hands from going outside. Then they know, oh, hey, this is what time she said she'd be here, and they can start anticipating. They can't look at the clock. Well, they can, but they can't tell you what it says.
Lena, I've got Daniel Tiger playing in my head because we've watched a lot of Daniel Tiger over the last several months. Grown-ups come back, but that exact reassurance.
Yes.
Mom and dad are going to come back. Caregiver, auntie, whoever it is, I'm going to be back. And I think one of the things you talked about is a lot of us may not be sending our kids back to full-time daycare.
Right.
We may still be in a hybrid situation for a while. I know that's the situation we're about to walk into, is we're going to be in a hybrid situation for a little while, and managing that. And really, I think we have the structure in our heads. We have the ability as adults to put that structure in our heads and know what Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is going to look like, but our kiddos don't. And so putting that up where it's visual and they can see, and talking about it on a regular basis, all great ideas. So Lena, I know you guys are doing some special things for folks that are having to get their kiddos back into daycare right now. So talk a little bit about that and what you guys have going on for those families.
Okay. All right. We have a couple of scholarships. Some of the parents have not been to work since March, so they've had no income. And now they're about to go back to work, and they're going to be faced with having to pay childcare. And so we have some scholarships to help those parents going back. We can take $30 off a week for 6 weeks, so that you're not hit with an $85 bill every Monday. We can bring it down to $55 and help you out for that first 6 weeks till you get back going on your feet again too. We have another scholarship that's a little bit longer. It's only $20 a week, but it can go for 6 months. And then of course we have special funding with CCS, which we can give parents that information and they can just log in to see if they qualify and do most of that online without having to go anywhere.
Yeah, and Lena, you do have some income guidelines, but you guys have also some flexibility in what y'all are able to offer.
Yes.
Well, right?
Yes, we work on a sliding fee scale with our parents. So everybody will have a fee, but nobody will pay more than $125 a week, regardless of what their income is. That is the maximum we would charge anybody. We do also offer part-time. We can do like 3 days a week, and it can be any 3 days, or if you just need care Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there's no reason for you to pay for Tuesday and Thursday, so we'll adjust your fee for that. Or we can do a 6 hour a day or less. If you're working 4 hours a day, then that might be the way to go, just to save you some money. That's what we're here to do, is get these children a good start on their kindergarten activities, and to help the parents be able to work on their jobs and their schoolwork. And
parents, if you're listening out there, that you can't find daycare for those prices, especially not high quality daycare for that cost. And really thinking that when your top price is what, 125, is that what you said, Lena? That can't be beat, especially when you're talking the high quality childcare that you guys are able to give. And so few places that do part-time. Most places, they want you to pay for the entire week. So incredible stuff. Lena, if somebody is in need of childcare, what do they need to do? How do they need to get a hold of you?
You need to call our main office at area code 806-765-9981 and let us know how old your children are, and we'll look to see where we have space available. If you know a particular center that you're wanting to enroll with us, we can check that center first. And then we'll schedule you an appointment to come up to the main office, and we'll have to take your temperature and ask you all those questions here. And you'll do all your paperwork, and then you'll go to the center after that, because then you're considered enrolled and you can actually go in the building, and you'll have an orientation, and then you're ready to get started.
Fantastic. And I do want to say again, you guys are taking school-aged kids for the summer. Up to what age, Lena?
Our school age program is for 6-year-olds through 12-year-olds. We don't do a lot of academics in there in the summer. It's summer. So we do a lot of community and socialization activities, lots and lots of board games and card games and building things together. They've had enough school. They've had school in all kinds of places.
Sure, and they've just had really weird school online.
Yes, they have.
So we will put y'all's number and the link to y'all's website when we post this, Lena, but just want to thank you guys for continuing to be there for families during the crisis when we were all locked down, but also now continue to be there for families as life looks different. Wages have been lost, jobs have been lost, and now we're all trying to get back out there and trying to figure out how to afford basics like childcare. So Lena, thanks for all your staff and your team and all you guys have been doing. We really appreciate y'all.
Well, that's what we're here for. So
fantastic. All right, South Plains. We've got a few more of these to do. We've almost made it through all of our 23 partners, so we'll keep coming to you and sharing these to you for a couple more weeks until we've hit all those partners. But thank you guys for your great support for United Way and your great support for our community partners. We appreciate everything that you're doing right now, South Plains. Thank you.